Here with Northwestern State head coach Chris Bertrand, as the Demons get ready to wrap up a 7-game road trip with 3 in New Orleans starting Friday night. And Coach, you jump right back into Southland Conference play at the end of a long road trip. You've talked about learning. This team so far on this road trip has kind of learned to win on the road, 3-1, off to as good a start on a long road trip as you could ask for.
Yeah, no doubt, and I think that it continues to be those lessons that we're putting to use that are kind of putting the ball games in our favor, and that's what you're really proud of the guys for. Another natural surface field, right? In that we've played Corpus and Grambling, and now another natural surface field. And so learning how to acclimate yourself and learning about the environment, that's a critical part of it, and our guys have really done that. Another windy environment, go and play right there on the lake. Another offensive ballpark against an offensive team in the same way that we thought that Corpus and Grambling were. And so, man, everything along it has lined up really well, and our guys are learning those lessons, but more importantly, putting those lessons to good use. And so we're excited about not only go and play, and not only go and play another great Southland opponent and another Southland series, we're excited about the direction and the growth and the development of our baseball team, and that's what really kind of gets you going.
Well, you talked about it. It's a potentially offensive ballpark because lakefront or on the lakefront there at Maestri Field, maybe the most weather-dependent ballpark in the Southland because, yes, if it's blowing out, it's offensive. If it's blowing in, it becomes a cavern.
Yeah, and so, man, and we say those things in a very positive way. That's a part of baseball. That's a part of that outdoor sport, right? Learning how to dominate the elements is just as important as a great batting practice, as a great game plan, right? And so it's, again, those lessons that you teach your team. And coaches that you respect and people that you respect when we go in there to play in the way that they've built their team to dominate those elements as well, right? We understand the type of offensive team we're going to face. And so hopefully we continue to pitch the baseball in the same way that we did last weekend, right? 25 out of 27 innings, you put up zeros, right? Those are incredible individual pitching performances by our guys, but you learn what wins in those environments, right? Same thing against Grambling the other night, where we learned that no lead is safe. We learned what is winning pitching execution, what is not so much, and hopefully we can learn from the success and the failures and put that to use, right? We also know what type of pitching staff that they are going to bring out. We know they have a pitching-centered head coach now, right, in the way that their season is developing. And so, man, you take all of those things into consideration, and every part of it, whether it be mental, whether it be physical, whether it be dominating the elements, right? Like, that's part of who we want to become. The Demons want to be now and into the future a team that is the most well-rounded, a team that is the most well-prepared, a team that is detail-oriented. So we take everything into consideration in a great way because we understand the lessons it teaches us. We understand the men and the players that it makes us.
You get a couple of those players back. You won Tuesday night rather without your full complement of players. You get those guys back. It was good to see some other guys learning how to play different roles, but I know getting Reese, getting Daniel Burroway back, always a plus for your lineup.
Yeah, it's a plus in baseball, but it's a plus for the family, right? Like, at no point do you want any of those guys under any circumstances, right? So listen, whether it be injury or whether it be a personal matter or whether it be an ejection matter or a suspension, right? Like, you never want to go into those battles without every member of the family because you understand what everybody pours into it, right? Somebody like Reese has poured himself into the Demons in the last 2 years in the way that, man, he's helped us lay this foundation. He's helped us stack these bricks. And so anytime you have to do something without him, right? And Burroway in the same way, the way that he has trusted us and the way that he has developed his game. When you look at the start that he got off to last year in the first 20 games and the start that he's gotten off to in the first 20 games this year, look at what he has done, learning those life lessons, improving, growing, developing, right? And so, yes, from a baseball standpoint, your full lineup, maybe you call them your starters, maybe whatever it is, but anytime you go without members of the family, you can't wait to welcome them back so that we can get back to business as usual, right? That's a part of that level of comfort, right? I want our guys and our team, and I take pride in it as the leader with all of our other coaches. We want to be comfortable being comfortable, and we want to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? But at the same time, you get that level of mental ease, right? You get that when you have the full complement, right? When you get to play your hand the way you want to play your hand. And so we can't wait to welcome those guys back. And yes, you're exactly right in the fact that at Grambling, we learned so many great things, right? Hudson leading off and getting on base 3 times, right? Whether he does that again this year or moving into the future, we learned something about it, right? We got Bryce Johnson some time in center field. What if that becomes something in a pinch we have to do later on, right? We got Raines back out there so that he could get some at-bats, right? We got JD out there to catch in the way that he needed some at-bats, right? So yeah, man, it's all a part of the master plan and the bigger picture of what we're trying to build Demon Baseball into so that we can have sustainable competitive success now and moving into the future.
Coach, as always, thank you for your time.
Forkham Demons.